Okay, well that's that. Anyway, maybe I'll do some real guitar later, but this is going to be the first installment of Cooking with Dave. And what I'm going to do right now is it's kind of like a shrimp scampi, but with some variations, and I make a sauce by boiling the shells down. And we also have some nice fine chanterelle mushrooms. And these are fresh, with some grass in them. We're going to have to clean them up. But these are the local chanterelles, very expensive, fairly rare. And onion and garlic, and we have some shrimp. And these are frozen, but I've learned that it doesn't really matter. And in here I have just a little bit of water boiling with some Old Bay seasoning and a little bit of apple cider vinegar. And what I'm doing here is really just getting them in this sauce. Not even to boil them, but just to get them in the water, and so I can get the shells off. And then I'll leave them in here maybe just a couple of minutes, 3 or 4 minutes, since they are frozen. And we'll come back, and then I'm going to shell them quickly, and I'm going to use the shells and this water and just boil the flavor right out of the shells, and that gives you a real shrimpy broth that we'll use for the scampi. And then we'll throw this stuff in and re-throw the shrimp in, and add a little, so I like the white wine vinegar and a little lemon juice, and here's some pepper that I like. It has a whole bunch of different peppercorns in here, and the shaker is the actual grinder that he got me that. And here's a little Old Bay and some cayenne and other things. And then while this is going, I'm actually going to make homemade sesame seed wheat rolls. And so this is the first part of a 2-part ongoing series. Okay. And we'll let these go a few minutes, and we'll be back. Hi there, back with Cooking with Dave, and we're in the living room now. The kitchen's small, so I'm going to make here some sesame seed wheat rolls that I make. And I kind of started off making beer bread, and then separately making pizza, and then realized the pizza dough was kind of similar to the wheat roll dough, just add a little more yeast. But this is going to be the wheat rolls. And we have some yeast here. And this is kind of a smaller tablespoon. I don't always measure, but for the pizza it's like one of these and maybe 2/3 of a tablespoon. And some sugar. I use a little more sugar usually for the pizza. And so this one's going to be just about a teaspoon of sugar. Pause. And this is, I do the water as hot as it comes from our tap, and I think our tap water is about 118 degrees. And then I pour this in here, give it a light knocking around, and in about 10 minutes that'll foam up and be ready, and we'll make our dough. One thing I like about these is they're pretty quick to make. You can let them rise once or twice if you want. It depends if I'm in a hurry. I don't even let them rise. I just make the dough, throw them in the oven, and they seem to do fine. And we'll go back to the shrimp, and then come back to the rolls, back to the shrimp, back to the rolls. I don't know if we'll keep doing the music, because I find it's hard for me to play when I have the food in my head. But here's some tomatoes from our garden, and we might throw a couple of these in with the shrimp for kicks, even though we don't normally do that. And then that'll be it for the first installment of Cooking with Dave. Cooking with David. Cooking something. Recession Cooking with Dave. Thank you. Alright, and here we are. Back with our shrimp. And we have them sitting in the water, and the water's hot. The sane person would probably use a spoon to do this. The vinegar gives it a nice flavor and adds something to the broth. You can use wine. We don't have any wine today. I've used a little beer. I don't know if that does any good. To kind of flavor that up some. But then the trick here, and I use this trick for my jambalayas and gumbos and different things, is I'm going to shell the shrimp. And this works great if you can find shrimp with the heads and tails on. You cook them with the heads and tails on, and you throw that right in our sauce here. Remembering which is which, sometimes I throw the wrong end in the wrong place there. But basically, we're going to shell these and boil this broth, maybe add a couple things to it, some garlic, a little bit, and then strain that, and that'll give us a nice base or broth or whatever you want to call it for our scampi. And especially since we don't have any wine, that's going to give us a little extra flavor here. So here we are, just a little more. We'll take the sauce here. You see it here? And I'm going to throw just a little bit of garlic. This end of the onion here, I'll throw that in for kicks. I'm putting in a little soy sauce. I think I'm just trying to use up this bottle. And we'll boil that up a little bit, and we'll be back.